The next poem I want to comment on is Mi Rosa y mi Sal. The title is in Spanish, and the poem by Richard Blanco is dedicated to Sonia, who seems to be a friend of his. The poem is very simple. In fact, it's a recollection of something that took place, and that something that took place was a moment in which the poet simply sprinkled some its petals with salt to preserve the color and uh, gift that as a gift to his friend Sonia. So we have five stanzas, and the last one, as opposed to the rest, has only three lines. Most of them have 4 lines, stanzas. And the poem begins with some years ago I took 4 rose petals flat on a board, sprinkling them with salt, preserving their color as my gift to her. It is mi rosa y mi sal, I wrote on the back. So it's just a description of what he, at that moment when they were together, did as a gift for his friend Sonia. Um, the thing is, when he visits the studio of Sonia, so she might be an artist friend, he still sees the same rosa rose petals and the same board somewhere there in the studio, and that brings the memory back of the moment when this took place. Something very simple, but probably emblematic, symbolizing her friendship, their friendship. I'm sorry. Um, and when he sees that board, he remembers the conversations they had together about life, la vida, listening to her chit chat about la vida, and the times when they were happy together, dancing salsa over the night. And the prior to the last stanza, it's the more dramatic moment of the entire poem, because in here we have a mention to a husband, Sonia's husband, that it seems did nothing mostly, and also in addition the mention to drugs in Harlem. So that was the dark side of Sonia's life, it seems. Um, and therefore, against that complication, against that struggle, um, we have 2 important lines in the prior to the last stanza that read, "And I wanted to believe as she believed." And I think the verb here, the verb to believe, is important because when you go through challenges, when you have to face up to something very difficult in your life, you better believe in something, because that belief will keep you going and allow you to breathe so that you can continue with your life, right? But what was there to believe? In Spanish, at the beginning, we have después de todo, la vida sigue bella, she would say. And then we have the translation, which is usually a procedure that bilingual poets utilize in their poetry. The translation reads, "Life keeps beautiful after all," she still says. So, though she went through very hard times, there was resilience in Sonia. And this is something that Richard Blanco, treasures as well. And the poem ends with the 4 rose petals, just as red as the day I gave them to her, sprinkled with salt. It seems to me that the fact that the poet is going back to this description, this little memento, if you will, um, is indicative of perhaps the relationship between the two of them, and how, um, on the one hand, one is able to survive through difficult times, and that endurance is part of the petals for me, um, keeping their color, but also it's the friendship between the two of them. It's the beauty of going through happiness, right? Dancing together, philosophizing, if you will, because they were both talking about life and life as being beautiful no matter what. And then um, that connection, for me, that relationship is in itself beautiful. And the petals, the rose petals, are representative of that as well.